Hello, my Cornerstone cohorts. This is Mr. Matt from Classroom 6 coming to you from my home slash office. That's why I'm not wearing a mask. And today we are talking about our freedoms today. Okay. Which were fought for and won by our ancestors. You know, many of us, it was our freedoms today were fought for and won by our ancestors. Um, And so we're going to start with the topic words. And the first topic word is colonist. Okay. Right here on our communication board, colonist. Okay. Again, like yesterday, a colonist is a person who came here from another country with permission from that other country to start a colony, which is like a place where people live. Okay. In like a new land. Okay. Because a lot of Americans are descended from colonists, and the original colonies, there were 13 of them, and Rhode Island was one of them. Okay, so the next word is colony. All right, let's see if I can find colony. Where is colony? Okay, looks like we don't have colony. All right, but a colony, like I said, is where a colonist lives. All right, so all right. A colony is like a group of people all living together with the same purpose. The next word is country. And of course, okay, so a country is represented by a flag in the ground, a flag in an outline of what a country would look like on a map. Okay. Our country is the United States of America. Freedom. Yes, freedom. A very important word. A very important thing. Okay, so freedom here is represented by a bird flying free. Okay, and you're not going to be put in a cage if you're free. Okay, you get to fly free or walk free or roll free or whatever you kind of free you want to be, you know. King, which is right next to freedom. We don't have kings in the United States. We have elected officials, but other countries still have kings. Like Great Britain has a king. You know, England has a king. But I don't think the king. I'm pretty sure the king doesn't make all the decisions for Great Britain. They have a body of. They have a bunch of people who are picked by the people to help run the country, called Parliament, and it's similar to our Congress, okay, and our uh, executive branch. Our president and our Congress people are picked by us, you know, when we vote. Okay, law. Okay, law is right here, and law is represented by the scales of justice. Okay, a law is something that people get together and people decide what laws they're going to have in their colony or their community or their country. Those laws are voted on, and then people have to follow the law. You know, like you want to follow the law, you don't want to break the law, right? You know, that's why we have police officers enforcing the law, making sure you follow the law. Okay, right. The next word to learn is right. And you have rights. Oh, here it is. Right is also represented by the scales of justice and a book, probably representing I guess, a law book, and the law book will tell you that you have rights under the United States Constitution. You have the right to freedom of speech. You can pretty much say whatever you want. Okay, you have the right um, to vote. You have the right to be whatever religion you want. You know, Jewish, Christian, uh, Muslim. I mean, Islamic, whatever religion you want to practice, you can practice it in the United States. You also have the right to not have police um, arrest you for no reason and detain you for no reason. They're not allowed to come into your house unless they have a search warrant, a court order. Soldiers are not allowed to stay in your house. Um, okay, things like that. You have rights, all right? You have the right to a fair and speedy trial if you get arrested and you have to go to court. Okay, you have the right to an attorney. You have the right to a, a speedy trial, so that you don't have to sit, like, if you can't go home for some reason, like you can't make bail, you don't have to sit in a jail for a long time waiting for your trial. Okay, soldier. Okay, those are the people that you have the right not to have stay in your home if you don't want them there. It's one of your rights. But a soldier is somebody who fights in wars. Okay, and wars are bad business. People die in wars, people get hurt. Um, Hopefully, you won't have to see any wars in your lifetime. I've seen a few in my lifetime. I haven't actually been in a war, but that if I was in a war, then I would be a soldier. And if you were in a war, you'd be a soldier too. Okay? And we had soldiers that fought in our Revolutionary War to help us get the rights and privileges that we deserve today, because we split. We were once part of Great Britain, okay, or England, and we split away from them. We were once their colonies, and then we broke away from them. We had to fight because they didn't want us to leave. Okay, so where are the colonies? Where were the colonies? Okay, they were on um, the east coast of the United States. Rhode Island was one of them. Massachusetts was one of them. New York was one of them. Pennsylvania was one of them. I think North and South Carolina. Okay. So, yeah, the original 13 colonies, there were 13 of them. Okay. 5 plus 5 is 10, and 3 more is 13. They were in the United States, North America, and they were once part of Great Britain. Okay. As I said before, the title of the story we're reading today is called Our Freedoms Today. Okay. By Maggie Gardner. And you can see a couple of students in the library, and I guess they're talking about a book on the 1700s, which was our American Revolution, I think, was 239 years ago. And that was during the 1700s. Right now it's the 2000s. So that was quite a long time ago. Like many, 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 many yesterdays ago, Okay, so let's see. Sarah and Tony buy a new book. Oh, I guess they were in a bookstore, not a library. The book is about how the United States of America began. What was life like in the colonies in the 1700s? Quite different from now. What freedoms did they have? Okay, let's see what the picture looks like. Oh, same picture, 1700s. Oh, look, it's King George. He's a king. That's what kings looked like in the 1700s. They wore white wigs, and they wore furs and gold or purple robes, you know. In the 1700s, the King of Great Britain made the laws. All right, there were no elected officials weren't, I guess, as important back then in Great Britain. I think they did have parliament, but um, I guess the King of Great Britain made the laws. The colonists did not get to choose their leaders. The king did not care about what the colonists wanted. So that was called, yeah, the colonists had to pay taxes to the King of England, and they did not get to choose their leaders. They didn't get to send anybody over to Parliament, which was kind of like Great Britain's Congress. So they felt that they were having to pay money, and they had no say in what the money was used for or where the money went. That was called taxation without representation. But apparently, the King of Great Britain did not care. That's going to anger some people. Today, we in the United States have the right to vote for our leaders, and they do in Great Britain too. When Tony turns 18, he will vote for the leaders of our country. Now, Tony votes for the Student Council. We have many freedoms today. So here's Tony voting in the Student Council. Okay. In the 1700s, colonists had to give soldiers a place to sleep. Remember how I said you have the right not to have soldiers stay in your house? Yeah, see, Great Britain, when the colonists became upset that the King of England was making all the laws and taking their money in taxes, uh, the King of Great Britain reacted by sending soldiers over there to keep the colonists from getting violent, you know. So, and they had to have places to stay. So the king said, "Oh, you can just go stay in the colonist's house. It doesn't matter what they say, you know." So the colonists had to give soldiers a place to sleep. They had no choice. They had to give them food to eat. They did not get to choose. All right, so here's a colonist. And let's zoom in. And he doesn't look too happy. He's got a frown on his face. And here's a soldier with his red jacket that the soldiers of England wore at the time. A red coat. And he didn't look too happy either. Guess it was unhappiness all around. Okay, today we have the right to choose who lives in our homes. Sarah likes that she can choose how to help. She gives food to a food pantry in her community. We have many freedoms today. Okay, so I guess this is Sarah, and she gives food to the food pantry in her community. That's very nice. Alrighty. In the 1700s, the king, many yesterdays ago, the king said the colonists could not have meetings. They could not talk about their problems. The colonists wanted things to change. So let's see. This picture here. King's Law, no meetings. They used to post laws on the wall and on posts. That's where the term post comes from, you know, like they would nail up a sign to a post. Gonna post this. And these colonists don't look too happy, you know. Today we have the right to free speech. Tony can tell leaders about the laws he does not like. We have many freedoms today. So let's see. Laws are represented by the scales once again, you know. And so these two people are, Tony and the other young lady, are talking about freedom and the law. Okay, so this was the Declaration of Independence. This is like a kind of a graphic representation of what it looked like. And a lot of the guys that, I think most of the guys that are on our dollar bills and coins were at the signing of the Declaration of Independence, or they had something to do with it. you know. Sarah reads that the colonists were not happy. They did not like doing what the king said. Some colonists wrote the Declaration of Independence. The colonists fought for their rights. They wanted to be free, so they had to fight, you know. Boom, 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 boom. And they had to use weapons and stuff, and people died. It was a very sad business. They wanted to be free. The United States of America became its own country. We have many freedoms today because of what they did. So here's a very simple map of the United States. And the 13 colonies were over here on the East Coast. All right. And here's another picture of freedom. Here's Hawaii, which is one of our states. Here's Alaska, which is one of our states. The end. Okay. Okay, and now it is time for the comprehension to see what we learn from the reading. Okay, the story is about how what began. Let's see. How what began? How freedoms began? Yeah, that's true. How the United States of America began? That's true too. How the right began? Not quite. How the king began? Nah. How the Declaration of Independence began? It was mentioned, but the story's not about that. Let's try freedoms and see what happens if it turns green or red. Oh, look, it's turning red already. No, we're not going to be using that one. Oh, I guess we are. Okay, it's wrong. So get rid of that. All right. So the story is about how the United States of America began. Very good. Where we live. Okay. In the 1700s, the blank of Great Britain made laws. The what of Great Britain? Oops. Oh, I didn't say that. The 1700s, the what of Great Britain made the laws? The Declaration of Independence of Great Britain made the laws? No. The King of Great Britain made the laws? The right of Great Britain made the laws? The United States of America of Great Britain made the laws? The freedoms of Great Britain made the laws? No, it was the King of Great Britain who made the laws. Doink. Green means it's correct. We have many what today? What do we have many of today? Let's see. You could say we have many rights today, but there's no S on the end of this one, So it would make sense to say we have many freedoms today, because we do. It's a free country. Alrighty. Today we have the blank to free speech. What do we have? We have the what to free speech. Let's see. Sorry. We have the Declaration of Independence to free speech. No, the Declaration of Independence doesn't guarantee us anything. All the Constitution guarantees us the right to free speech. Okay. The U.S. Constitution, highest law in the land. It's the law that allows us to elect our president, which we recently did. Okay. Okay, some colonists wrote the blank. What did they write? They wrote the freedoms. They wrote the United States of America. They wrote the king. Dear King, stop making us pay so much money in taxes and let us have a stronger voice in government. Actually, that is what they did. but it was called the Declaration of Independence. They had written like a lot of letters, I think, to the king before that, and sent delegates from the United States, so, asking for lower taxes, more of a say in how things were run, but just kind of fell on deaf ears, I guess. The king just was like, meh, no. Okay. All right, and that is it for this. So we're going to play a money game, Cornerstone friends, so stay tuned. Okay, my Cornerstone compadres. All right, now we're going to go over coins and dollars really quickly, what their value is, what they mean. Okay, so this is a penny, okay? This right here. Okay, the penny has a excuse me, a profile picture of Abraham Lincoln on it. He was not a founding father. He did not write the Declaration of Independence, but he did sign the Emancipation Proclamation, which freed the African American slaves that were in the United States back in the 1800s. Okay, so that's the front of the penny. This is the back of the penny. Okay. This is the nickel. This is the older nickel, which has the profile picture of Thomas Jefferson on it. Now, Thomas Jefferson was one of the writers of the Declaration of Independence. He was there. He was also the third president of the United States. Abraham Lincoln was also a United States president. So Thomas Jefferson wrote wrote a lot of the Declaration of Independence, and he's on the nickel, which is worth 5 cents. And the new nickels have like a front view of his face on it, you know. Okay, and that's what the front looks like, and that's what the back looks like. It has a picture of his house, which he called Monticello. I don't quite remember what state that's in, but there you go. Okay, this is the dime, and the dime is worth 10 cents. Okay, and it has a profile picture of Franklin Delano Roosevelt on it. He was not one of the founding fathers. He did not help write or sign the Declaration of Independence, but he was the president during the Great Depression and World War II. All right, so he was and he also created the March of Dimes. I believe he created that or the March of Dimes was created in honor of him, because he did a lot of work to fight to come up with a vaccine for the disease polio, which had made him sick and caused him not to be able to walk. So just like we're getting a vaccine now for COVID-19. That's what the front looks like. It's worth 10 cents, the dime. This is what the back looks like. It has like a torch and some vegetation here, like an oak branch, and I don't know what that is. Olive branch, maybe? Okay. The next item up for bid, Johnny, is the quarter. Okay, George Washington was one of the founding fathers. I'm not sure if his signature is on the Declaration of Independence or not, but he did fight for our freedom. He did a lot of work for our freedom, and during the Revolutionary War, he was the war in which we fought to get away from England. He was the general of all the United States armies during that time. He became the first president of the United States. And he's also on the $1 bill. A quarter is worth 25 cents. That's what the front looks like. Has a profile picture of George on it. This is what the back looks like. Has the American Eagle on it. All right. Whoops. Wait a second here. Wait a second here. Come on. Okay, this is the $half, which we don't see in circulation very much. Circulation is like coins moving around, being given from one person to the other. This is John F. Kennedy, who was one of our presidents, and he was not a founding father, and his name was not on the Declaration of Independence, nor did he help write it. However, he did a lot of work for the freedoms that we have. He did a lot of work for civil rights. For African Americans. So he was a pretty decent fellow. So they put him on the $half. And on the back of the $half has the American Eagle again, but it has like a shield and arrows and yada yada yada. It's a little different from the quarter. Okay, so here we go. The gold dollar coins, worth the same as a dollar bill. It's worth $1. A one on the left side of the decimal point. Okay. Sacagawea was an indigenous American who led a couple of guys, Lewis and Clark, on an expedition to map the United States. Okay, that's what the front looks like. This is what the back looks like. It has another eagle on it. Eagle is the national bird of the United States. It almost was the wild turkey, but the eagle was finally voted upon. Here is the $1 bill that we use for our $1 up strategy. And it has a picture again of George Washington, one of the founding fathers, general of the Army in the American Revolution, first president of the United States. And it's worth $1. A number one on the left side of the decimal point. All right, that's what the front looks like. Now on the back, it says 1 in big letters, has the American Eagle again with the shield. There's a funny little pyramid on back that has all kinds of conspiracy theories surrounding it. It says the United States of America. Okay. This is the $2. Whoa. Let's go back there, please. This is the $2 bill. Oops. And it has a front picture of Thomas Jefferson on it. Thomas Jefferson is also on the nickel. The $2 bill is another piece of money that doesn't get handed back and forth a lot during, purchases and stuff when you buy stuff. It's not used a lot. Thomas Jefferson was a founding father. He did a lot of writing on the Declaration of Independence. He signed it. So he helped us get a lot of our freedoms. And the $2 bill is worth $2 on the left side of the decimal point. Number 2 on the left side of the decimal point when we do our money. And the back looks like that. Oh, yes. See, it has a picture of the Declaration of Independence being signed. There you go. The $5 bill with our friend Abraham Lincoln again. This is a front view of him, front view of his face. It's worth $5. A 5 on the left side of the decimal point when we're doing our math. And he freed the African American slaves during the Civil War, the American Civil War. And he's also on the penny. This is what the back of the $5 bill looks like. It has a picture of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., one of the monuments that we have in Washington, D.C., which is the capital of the United States. Alrighty. The next item is the $10 bill, which has a picture of Alexander Hamilton. And he was one of the founding fathers also. And I believe his name is written on the Declaration of Independence. And he helped us get a lot of our freedoms also. and it's worth a $10 bill is worth 10 whole dollars, and we write it as a 10 on the left side of the decimal point. The decimal point. That's what the front looks like. The back has a picture of the White House. Oh, I'm sorry. No, the U.S. Treasury on the back. U.S. Treasury is where we make our dollar bills. Okay. Okay. And Alexander Hamilton was also a big banking guy, you know? All right, let's see. What's next? The $20 bill. 20 whole dollars. You know? Did I do 15? 10, 20, 5, 10, 15, 20. $20. 20 on the left side of the decimal point. Andrew Jackson fought in the American Revolutionary War. So he did help us get some of our freedoms from Great Britain, some of the freedoms that we have today. Okay, he's on the front. He was also a president of the United States. Alexander Hamilton, who was shown before on the $10 bill, he was never a president. He didn't get the chance. He died before he got the chance to do that. Okay, so this is Andrew Jackson on the front of the $20 bill. This is what the back of the $20 bill looks like. It has a picture of the White House, where the president lives. I'm sure you've seen that picture in the news recently. Okay, so the next bill up for bid is the $50 bill. $50. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. That's a lot of dollars. A 50 on the left side of the decimal point. Okay. Ulysses S. Grant is on the $50 bill. He was a general during the American Civil War, which helped free the African American people and help them get rights that they still have today. He was also a president of the United States after the Civil War, and on the back of his bill is a picture of the U.S. Capitol with the, where Congress meets, okay, the Congress people meet, the senators and the House of Representatives. That's where they had that riot and everything outside the Capitol building. Okay. And last but not least, we have, whoa, take it easy there, computer. Last but not least, we have the $100 bill, which has Benjamin Franklin on it. And he was a big player, in helping us get our rights, our individual rights. He was a founding father, and he was a signer of the Declaration of Independence. And he did not fight in the Revolutionary War, but he did a lot of work, to help us gain our independence, our freedom from Great Britain. He was a very smart guy. He was a very rich guy. He was never a president. I think he was ambassador to France. But he's on the $100 bill because he was a founding father. He was a big player, big key figure. That's what it looks like in the front. So 100 is 100, 100, right before the decimal point, on the left side of the decimal point. And that's what the back of the $100 bill looks like. It has a picture of Independence Hall, which is in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And that's where that's where the Declaration of Independence was signed. So there you go. And that's it for our review of the Bills, Cornerstone Compadres. Next comes the song. Stay tuned. Okay, Cornerstone friends, here's the song. It's an old Wilson Pickett song. It was made
popular in the 80s in the Blues Brothers movie. So I need you, I think. Everybody needs somebody, something like that. Everybody needs somebody. Everybody needs somebody to love. Some love, sweet out to miss, sugar to kiss. Well, I need you in the morning, you in the evening, you. When my soul is on fire. Sometimes I feel a little sad inside when my baby mistreats me. I never have a place to hide. I need Sometimes I feel a little sad inside when my baby mistreats me. I never have a place to hide. I need you in the morning, oh yeah, yeah, baby, you. I need you. All right. Thank you.